Hello, here is my review of Spyfall Part 2, and I've done it a bit differently here. You've not got my face. I didn't want you to see the terrible camera quality again. But a bit late, I thought I'm going to do a review a bit later on when I've had the time to really think on it. Because last week I really liked Spyfall Part 1, and Spyfall Part 2 is one that I have very complex opinions on. I did a review of my first reactions over on JTV 1963's account. That was a live stream of mine and Jake's reaction for that episode. And there I talked about not really being sure of what to think, because this episode still is on the right tracks for Series 12. I think still it's much better than Series 11. It's picked up on a lot of the things that Series 11 did wrong, and a lot of things that viewers wanted to see, like Part 1 did, and it did some of the same things. It did some things worse than Spyfall Part 1. It did some things better than Spyfall Part 1. Definitely was less successful for me. I didn't enjoy it as much. I enjoyed parts a lot. I thought Sacha Dhawan, whenever he was on the screen, he was fantastic. He's a brilliant master. He's perfect for the role. They found the right balance between the sort of subtle, sinister sides of the master and the sort of more comical, over-the-top John Sim type master. So I find they've found that perfect balance between the classic Who Masters personality and the new Who Masters personality. I find that Jodie Whittaker, this is definitely her strongest episode yet. Her quirky moments weren't quite as annoying as they have been, and weren't as annoying as they were in Part 1. And I find she got to show off her some different sides to the Doctor, which is what we all wanted to see, and we wanted to see some threat that would really test her and really show off another side to the Doctor. And that was only brief, but when she found out about the revelation at the end, about, spoiler alert, Gallifrey being destroyed and by the Master, she got really annoyed. You could see that, and there was a different side to her character rather than the constantly annoyingly childish version of the Doctor. And I'm glad about that, because you had the childish side of the Doctor in Matt Smith's era, but there was always something more to him, and I find that was lacking in Series 11 Resolution and the Spyfall Part 1. So I'm glad there was more to her, and I'm glad Jodie Whittaker was better in this one. She felt much more like the Doctor. The reveal at the end with the Timeless Child, great, really promising, really interesting, really setting up for something big. Problem is, with this and last week with the Master reveal, I find these are such big, exciting moments for Whovians, and I feel like they, as they're at the end of the episode, they sort of impact our judgment on the episode, because we get so excited about them and so excited for what comes next that it sort of overshadows the weaker parts of the episode and the stuff that's came before it. Because there were a lot of flaws with this one. The split between the companions and the Doctor really worked wonders for Jodie Whittaker's Doctor here. However, and we wanted to see her and Sacha Dhawan's Master, who are the perfect fit for each other in Doctor-Master relationship. We got to see them interact, but the companions were, their dullness and blandness was really highlighted here even more when they were separated from the Doctor. They didn't do anything really, they didn't impact the story that much. And it was sort of like a rip-off of Sound of Drums, the David Tennant story, the whole on-the-run plot from the Master, from the world, they're fugitives. It was exactly the same as Sound of Drums. This whole episode pretty much was the Sound of Drums. And if you've watched Sound of Drums, you'll know what I'm talking about. The resolution of the plot here was really weak. I thought the Daniel Barton just wandering off, and the Deus Ex Machinas of just the little thing that had been implanted to stop the Kazavan invasion. It was just really weak and really quick and really sudden. And it was the sort of thing, because he'd set up such a huge plot here, such a threatening plot, that like with a lot of stories, a lot of two-part stories, the resolutions really don't live up to the setups and prove to be really disappointing. The historical characters Ada Lovelace and Noreen Yap Khan would be so interesting in their own story, but they feel wasted here, and they feel irrelevant quite a lot of the time. They didn't really need to be in it, or at least as much as they were. They just stood there, and they were more companions just to add to that. The many companions already. The exposition, again, there's too much exposition, like with the usual Chibnall script. There's so much exposition, and I think they overcomplicated something that could be quite simple here by adding those historical characters. On the whole, though, it did feel again more like Doctor Who than what we'd been used to. It had more exciting moments, even though the pace sometimes flagged a bit. We had more threat than the previous series. And although it's not one of Doctor Who's finest stories ever, it was really enjoyable as a two-parter. A really big, epic scale to get us in the mood for the series. And it is on the right track, even with its many flaws. As a two-parter, this is an epic, explosive, appropriate start to the series with some important and interesting setups. I think the rest of the series, the stuff until the finale, I think the finale could be quite a big, bold one. Looking at what they're trying to do here, I think it could be a big, bold, perhaps divisive episode, perhaps controversial episode, because they could retcon the whole of the show with this Gallifrey twist. And I think it'll be interesting to see how they hold it up for the rest of the series, because we've heard stuff today. Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror, Orphan 55, Fugitive of the Jadoon, and Preux, or whatever it's called. I can't remember what it's called now. But is it going anywhere interesting? I'm interested to see where the Jadoon episode goes. I'm interested to see where the story arc is going, and I'm interested to see how they hold up the series. But the next 3 episodes, I haven't got too much hopes. But Orphan 55 is on Sunday at 6:55. I'll probably have a live stream on after that. Probably not on this account, but probably on JTV 1963. Then I'll give a review of it later on in the week, like I have done with this and Spyfall Part 1. So then, thank you very much for tuning in. Please leave your thoughts of Spyfall Part 2 below. Please like and subscribe. Please head over to the link in the description below to see my initial reactions to the story. And I will be back very soon. Thank you.